Hey everybody, welcome back. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to let you know that in the second half of this video, I'm going to be covering 4 very important design flaws about these RV that we own. So if you're thinking of buying a Forest River or a Grey Wolf RV, you definitely don't want to miss that second half. Maybe I'm going to save you some money, some headaches, or maybe you actually have one of these problems and you don't even know about it. So without further ado, let's get to today's episode.
Hey everybody, this is RV's Coast and my name's Afton.
And I'm Eli.
And I'm Fawn.
And today we're going to be talking about some things we don't like about the RV.
Oh, is there such a thing?
Maybe not
so.
for you. Actually, we just thought we would talk about a few things that maybe we don't like about this RV. We know a lot of people are buying RVs right now. They're thinking about it. They're thinking about what do we need, what do we not need.
And we get a lot of questions about how do we like our RV.
Yeah, so we thought we'd share a little bit about, of course we've gone through before what we do like, so we thought we'd share a little bit about what we don't like and maybe what we would do differently. And then you're going to go over a few design flaws that that you've noticed in your extensive study of our RV.
Yeah, so should we start with the things that as a family we don't like about the RV?
Yeah. So do you want to share with us what you do not like about it?
So I don't like how my, so me and Arlo have bunk beds and I don't like how close my bed is to the ceiling. I can't even like sit up. I'm like, I wake up laying down and then this is as high as I get.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's your complaint?
Yeah, unfortunately our little guy needs to be on the bottom, so.
Yeah. So we're getting ready.
We are getting ready
for our first trip of the year. Afton, tell me that complaint about your bed.
Okay,
After you've removed that trash that your mother put in your bed.
Mom, you're so sloppy. You never keep anything clean. Okay, so I'm sleeping. I wake up in the morning.
You're totally right, but you don't have to be that dramatic. Fortunately, I thought of a very good solution to that. We just buy a really big fifth wheel.
Yeah.
So she can have her own bedroom.
Flashback.
This year, I'm not asking for any toys. Would you please help me with my dad? He just doesn't stop talking about that Grand Design fifth wheel. My mom says the only way he's getting it is a Christmas miracle.
End of flashback.
You like the way Daddy thinks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys.
Sorry, Mom.
Okay.
I'm with Daddy on this one.
Okay. Well, speaking of space, one of the things that I don't like is that our bed, there's very little space next to our bed, which makes it hard for getting dressed because the only place that you can really stand and like get dressed is like in the middle of the kitchen.
Yeah.
Because even the bathroom is so tight that with your clothes and stuff, you feel like you don't have the space to kind of get dressed.
Yeah. All right, Fawn, show me the trouble area.
Okay, so this space here is very difficult. Well, you have this thing here, which is not normally here, but it's very difficult to get dressed. So, you know, you either have to kind of squeeze here or you have to sit on the bed and go like
Wait. Oh, I missed that.
So if I were getting another RV, I would pick something that had a little bit of space in the bedroom that I could get dressed.
And good thing we have tinted windows because the only area in your bedroom where you can get dressed is like perfectly aligned with your butt.
Yeah. And but also
blinder down or
I'm sure I've been embarrassed because I'm sure I've been putting pants on while you're like opening the RV door, so that's probably happened. So that's one of the things I don't like. The other thing that I don't really care for is that you know, the only times we're really hanging out in the RV is kind of to watch TV, because if it's a rainy day or if it's nighttime, and it's not really comfortable because the TV doesn't really face anything that you're sitting at, except for the one dining spot, one spot at the table. The couch is sideways. So it's really not comfortable to kind of like hang out in there and watch
For a movie night. Yeah, I think that's my one complaint, is that you end up with neck pain just looking at the side to the side the entire time, which is something good to think for new RVers, people looking at RVs right now for the upcoming season. There are certain things that you're just happy to see that the RV is equipped with it, like a nice couch and a nice TV, but also think about that, the positioning of things, and try to picture your family using it for long periods of time.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, like, you know, not everybody that would be an issue with, but like I said, most of the time when we're in the RV, it's because we can't be outside. And the other thing is like when we have friends over, you know, in the beginning it was like it sleeps 8, but realistically it does not sleep 8 comfortably. It probably only sleeps like 1 or 2 extra people comfortably, because, you know, if you think about like the table has to go down and the cushions and the little couch that is a bed is not comfortable for anybody. So that's something to think about.
That's comfortable for me.
Yeah, we do have 2 little things. I keep one of those mattress toppers roll underneath the storage area in the dining area for when someone sleeps in our dinette bed. And sometimes when we know we have a lot of family coming for the weekend, we put a little tent in the storage bay. And sometimes we do that, like let some of the kids or those that want to spend the night outside, usually somebody volunteers.
And that's definitely fine for us because we don't have a lot of people sleeping over in our RV, but if you have a family of 6 or something, you don't want to be doing that every time one of your kids needs a bed. So something to definitely think about. What else do you not like about the RV, like family-wise?
Family-wise, that's about it. I would say we bought a not very expensive RV, and that was intentional because we didn't have a lot of money when we bought it. We still don't have a lot of money, but it reflects the I don't want to say poor, it is cold. I don't want to say poor craftsmanship, but you can tell that some of the things are just cheap. Cheap. How do you say it?
Eli has a hard time with sheep, cheap, and ship.
Yeah, and also thumb.
Thong and tongue.
And what the ladies wear?
Thong.
Yeah.
What?
You didn't hear that. So sometimes you can. Sometimes things break because it's not great craftsmanship. However, we have been happy.
You pay for.
Exactly, and we bought the RV aware of that.
Yeah, and for us, it was in our budget. So it was good for us. We don't have complaints. It's just, you know, like I said, when you're thinking about this in the future, something definitely we will keep in mind in the future when we get something else.
But this is what year is this? This is going to be our fourth
camping summer
with the RV, and so far so good. It's in really good shape. The manufacturer was really good with the warranty during the first year. They actually solved one problem after the warranty was extended. I'll show you when I show you the design flaws that we have found. So if you pay for a cheap RV, then don't be expecting the quality and the reliability of a Grand Design or Prevost. So, you know, like just be mindful of that. All right, I'm gonna let the ladies go warm up, and then I can show you some design flaws and things that I absolutely don't like about it. All right, number 1. This is the problem that kept us going back to the dealer for repair time after time when we bought this RV. I ended up going there maybe like 3 or 4 times. It was always covered by the warranty, but it was a pain, and eventually we had to fix it. And Forest River, Gray Wolf, same company, they actually fixed this problem for us after the warranty was expired. I had to write a letter and everything explaining that I made them aware of the problem before the warranty expired. But here's the problem. There is an automatic switch, electric switch, for the heater, the space heater, the fireplace. This is not the main heater for the RV. This is just the fireplace. And the microwave, which is up here to my left. There is an automatic switch that prevents you from using the heater and the microwave at the same time. So if you turn on the heater, it's going to automatically turn off the microwave. If you go and use the microwave, it's going to automatically switch and turn off the fireplace. The problem is that every time that switch failed, which went bad maybe 3 or 4 times, then we had no fireplace or no microwave for the rest of the trip. Back in the days, the previous model for this RV, which is a 26 dBH, there was right here where these DVDs are, there was like a light switch, and you could do that switch manually. And it was a big mistake for the company to go with this automatic switch, because it was just garbage. It kept going bad. One time it was a thunder that killed it. Another time was it just died. The other 3 times it just died. The way we finally solved the problem, we finally had approval from Forest River to install an automatic switch. However, that wasn't an easy repair, because they had to rewire everything, and then they had to, you know, the dealer didn't want to take on this job. Even at my request, I say I can pay for it, because they say that they will have to be liable for that delicate job of rewiring one of the cables that handles more power, which is the heater and the microwave. So eventually it got solved. So if you're thinking of buying a Forest River or an or a Gray Wolf, make sure that they don't have that automatic switch, or ask them to rewire it for you before you take the RV home. All right, the next problem, it's one that we had to deal with it for a while, and it's the toilet. We had to deal with bad smell in our RV for a while, and we had to replace the toilet not 1 but twice. Both times the toilets that we had to replace were covered not by Gray Wolf, the manufacturer of the RV. They were covered by the manufacturer of the toilet. In this case was Dometic. This RV came with a toilet that had a manufacturing error, and the toilet holds liquid inside. I made a whole video about the whole problem, actually 2 videos. One was the discovery of the problem and how we solved it, and eventually the problem came back and we had to deal with it again. So I'm gonna put the link to those videos here and the description below. That way I don't have to ramble too much, so go check those out. All right, here is our third design flaw with this RV, is the thermostat. Nothing wrong with it, although it's not the greatest quality. You see this yellow piece of tape here? Is there because this is very finicky, and the front of it comes off incredibly easy. I don't know if you can see it here. That's why that piece of tape is here. Oops, I turned it on by accident. There you go. So the problem is that the thermostat is located right in front of the slide. So if you're boondocking and you don't want to open your slide out, then you cannot access the thermostat. Therefore, you cannot turn on or off your air conditioner or your heater. All it takes is a little cable. This thermostat could have been here in this wall, and then problem solved. So that little problem is just a pain on the neck. Eventually, I'm gonna move these to here. All right, this is our last problem, last design flaw that I found in our 26 dBH 26 dBH Grey Wolf RV. This is the water intake. This is the freshwater tank, and this is the city water. As you can see, they are located exactly above the power intake for the entire RV. So if we are connected to city water, for some reason that hose is leaking a little bit, it drips water exactly on the power outlet. That is a big problem, and I cannot believe that they didn't think this through. The same happens if we try to put fresh water. It can leak incredibly easy. So that's a constant headache for me, to be always obsessing about having the little gasket, the little rubber seal on the hose. And yeah, I hope in the future they change this. On the other hand, I have an outdoor shower right here and another one in the other side of the RV. So those are, you know, the things that we actually like and enjoy very much about our RV.
So everybody, thank you so much for watching.
That's all we have for today.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh, she's a professional now.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Lots of energy. And we will see you next week. Thank you so much. See you later.